Thank you, Ishan, and welcome to our special interview series called Interview with Inspiration. So we are very glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me here. I've been very excited since the morning to just have this interview started off.
Great. So now your LinkedIn profile says that you are a very extremely, vibrant and multifaceted kind of a personality. So you are an engineer to start off with, and then you also did some acting at National School of Drama, and then you became a 2D, 3D animator, and then an entrepreneur. So your journey has been really very interesting, and so why don't you share about how things kept happening and how did you get into what you are doing now?
It actually happened very unexpectedly. I was sitting in my class when I was in eighth, and one of the teachers that I had a very good rapport with, she came over and she said she wanted to have a small movie made. And till that time, I had no idea how movies are done or how they are actually being made. I just used to go to theaters and watch them. And then she said, Ishan, आपको ये movie बना के देनी है within a week. And I was like, it is actually not possible. I have no idea कैसे बनता है. And ma'am said, आप कर ही दो. I know हो जाएगा किसी तरह से. And she just left. And I used to be those kids जो मतलब normally मतलब मान लेते हैं और कर देते हैं काम किसी भी तरह से. तो I just started figuring out जो पहले Windows Movie Maker आता था. तो everything started off with Windows Movie Maker actually. तो रात भर जगे रहे 3 4 5 6 दिन दोस्तों से बात करी. अब ऑडियो उसमें एंड में जब देना होता था तो ऑडियो में ऑनलाइन सर्च किया कि कैसे होता है. तो अपने जो रूम है घर पे, उस रूम पे आई जस्ट सारा थर्माकोल एंड सब कुछ लगा लगा के पंखे वंखे बंद करके वो जो नॉर्मल माइक आता था उससे किसी तरह से रिकॉर्ड करके
So that was an 8th standard.
8th स्टैंडर्ड वो कर करा के किसी तरह से दे दिया. And in the end, I still remember that day. I barged into my school at 12 in the morning, and the event was, I think, at 1 or something like that. And I was completely off. I hadn't slept for many days. I was, to be honest, I did not even take a bath. I just entered the room, and मैंने मैम को सीढ़ी पकड़ाई, and I just said, "Ma'am, please, आज के बाद अब मैं घर जा रहा हूँ. जैसी बनी है वैसी बनी है. I don't care." I went home and I just went home. And that turned out to be, I think, one of the biggest turning point into starting all this up, because if that teacher hadn't shown interest or hadn't shown the confidence that he could do it, I wouldn't have started maybe editing films or maybe doing the animation part of everything. So I started off with, again, these kind of videos in the first part. Then animation started off when I was in 10th, and everything commercially kind of started off when I was when I cleared my 12th standard. So after that, engineering started because I had a very keen interest in software development too. So I developed a few plugins for 3ds Max and Maya when I was in 11th. I got kind of a small project for MRMGF. There's a builder firm. So I tried how to figure out how to kind of speed up the rendering process and stuff. So that is how it eventually started. And then एक के बाद एक के बाद एक के बाद चीजें होती गई.
ये तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग जर्नी है. सो यू हैव ऑलवेज बीन अ ब्रिलियंट किड ऑल थ्रू आउट योर एजुकेशन दिस थिंग आल्सो.
That is how it sounds. That is not how it feels.
So yeah, so can you tell us what are your major milestones once you left college? फिर वो National School of Drama वो क्या था?
National School of Drama was also in school only. I was a part of, and I was actually one of the lead actors in NSD for approximately 2 years. We did a few plays in, if you know, Delhi में Kamani Auditorium है. We did a few plays there. I did a lead role in my school Hindi play as well. It also used to be at a very large scale. It was known as Galib at that point of time, and majority of the school people started knowing me by the name Galib, and few parents still call me by the name Galib whenever they meet me. So I have always been very enticed with dance, drama, and everything. So since I think my first standard, I never left any event. So if there would be an annual day, if there would be anything, we used to have around 4 to 5,000 kids on one stage in our annual days, and I used to always take part. So I've done a little bit classical dance too. I used to be a kind of what you say a Kathak dancer. So if you see my old photos, I'll share you after this. I'll share them with you after this interview, you'll see me in like full Kathak dress and dancing on the stage. So,
Great. So very interesting. So now we would like to hear from you. You must have also faced a lot of challenges, or there must have been so many obstacles. So what kept you going? How did you face them? What were the challenges?
see, in terms of challenges, there have been very numerous kinds of challenges. One, I normally portray them as good to have challenges, and the challenges that you should not have at any cost. The good to have challenges are like HR problems in a firm. It can be that your maybe if you take it at the root level, the equipment is not responding the way you want it to respond. Maybe if I take it at a very basic level, not getting good quality projects that you kind of want to do in life, or maybe just things not working out your way. So these are all these challenges are good to have because you have a solution for them already. You can sort them out. You know how to kind of just sort them out. The not we have been lucky to not have a very like not good to have challenges till now. Things somehow just sorted. Things just somehow just kind of sorted out themselves. There have been things when people eventually made things very tough for us to go forward. They can be maybe data theft at times, can be also things which eventually leave you very scarred for yourself. But somehow, if you have a good team, if you have good well wishers, everything kinds of turns out well, and eventually becomes the way you want it to be. The key to just keep on going is to be motivated yourself. You have to love yourself to keep going on, and you have to have a person who eventually you can trust all the time and make things work. There have been cases which are very bad, which eventually well, I would not definitely not want to discuss them. There have been very things that have been very good. You always have to focus only on the good things, not on the bad things. You just have to forget whatever is not working out.
Hmm. So, Ishan, can you tell us about the market scenario of animation industry? And you are also into filmmaking and digital marketing and a lot of other verticals. So, what is the kind of market scenario that we can expect, especially after this COVID lockdown is lifted?
Mm.
Is the industry going to be impacted in a negative way, or is this a positive opportunity for the animation industry? What are your thoughts?
Personally speaking, in the last few months, like we have seen a heavy spike in digital marketing and even in content generation. It can be as basic as explainer videos. It can be it can be as training videos. It can be also be in short films. It can be in documentary films. We have seen a very strong spike in orders that are coming for us. And let's say if we used to get, let's say, 10, 20, 30 projects in, let's say, in a quarter or so, we're getting at least double of them right now. So if I say in terms of post-COVID scenario, because of the social distancing and the norms and the guidelines that are coming up, I feel there is going to be a very strong surge in the coming few months. Let's say in the next 6 months or in the next 12 months. And also, if somebody is very much interested in the AR VR part, I think we are going to, if we put it in the very, I'm just talking in terms of content. If we put it in the right scenario in the right position, you're going to see a spike in those two.
And so we get most of our like most of the animation industry has its clients overseas.
Correct. Yes.
uh, is it true that we have a stiff competition to face from the other Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam, Philippines, and all those? There is Malaysia, where the animation industry is also growing at a very fast rate.
The response to this, from my perspective, would be how good are you in developing those films? How good is your content? How good is your approach towards making the stuff? People, any of your clients don't stay with you because your content is good. People stay with you because you are good on it. If
Mhm.
you are able to build the trust between your clients and yourself, the team is definitely going to stay with you no matter what, even if you're pricey, even if you uh, eventually delay stuff. But if you are good in your work, if you are committed towards your work and your truth, and you, sorry, and you speak the truth, the clients are going to stay with you. So if even if the competition from the other countries is only going to impact if we are in the, I think, if there are any export laws that are against us, which in the service industries is normally not the scenario. So I don't feel like the competition is the other countries or even in domestic market. The competition has always in the content in the creative work. The competition has always be is you yourself. If you're not committed toward the work, it's not going to work out, no matter what.
So, as an entrepreneur, you would be faced with, making tough decisions at so many, very often, very frequently. So, what goes behind smart decision making when it comes to your industry? I am asking this because we have a few students in our college who would like to have their own studios 5 or 10 years down the line. So, they might want to work in the industry just to get a hang of how things are, and then they would like to open their own studio. So what are the kind of things that they should be worried about or thinking about or planning very well in advance?
Uh, One thing about plans that I normally feel is that extensive planning never works out, specifically in the creative world. So if they have to be worried about anything, is again how to improve their skills and how to get things about. They have to focus on their core. Let's say, for example, if they want to hire somebody for coding, let's say if they want to code something, example, or if they want to create an animation, and if they are not good at character animation, they should always seek help of somebody or hire somebody who can do it. The challenges or smart decision making that will eventually go down the line is how quick they can take these decisions of hiring the correct person on board. They do not have to focus on things that they are sure that they're not very good at. Let's say for person A, he can be very good at texturing, he can be very good at maybe rendering, he can be very good at pre-production, he can be very good at maybe modeling in 3D in Max and Maya maybe. He might not be very good at animation. He might not be very good at giving those small effects that you get in the end. He might not be able to, the end product might not be able to look as realistic or as smooth or as hard touching because of the animation part of it. So even if one piece falls, the whole piece falls, the whole concept falls. So if any kid is looking for having their own studio, if he's looking for having their own um, their own gig in the longer end, they have to know their weaknesses. Basic sense, what you call SWOT analysis. That has to be done after every quarter. It has to be done after every quarter. If he knows if he's not good at one thing, just take a help of somebody else, hire him, and just get the work. One more thing, that is again one more thing that I might need to add. I would personally want to very strongly add in this scenario is to stop looking at ready-made components that you get online.
Mhm.
I'll not name the companies, but there are graphics that you get ready-made online. You get plugins, you get themes, you get no plugins. So anyway, you have to take it, but you get ready-made products online. It can be project files. It can be anything. If anybody is focusing their whole career based out of that, they cannot be called an animator. They cannot be called a graphic designer. They can be called graphic assemblers, but not designers. They can take inspiration from that. That is not at all a problem. But just downloading a file, editing it according to the need, and delivering it would not ever make them a very, very good artist.
Of course.
Specifically, not on the international front. Yes.
This actually also brings me to the next question, which is about creating our own IPs. Do you think India as a country has improved its stance on the pre-production part, as in having new IPs in the last few years?
Like seeing at the current products, the current advertisements, the even at times a few films, the quality of work that we are seeing, the improvement in the work that we are seeing in the last few years in the movie industry itself. I'm not saying that it is completely at par or even at par with Hollywood and everything, but it's definitely improving at a humongous scale in the last few years.
Mhm.
Like with initiatives from even various Bollywood stars or from people who are pioneers in the industry, they're eventually pumping in a lot of money and even pumping in a lot of efforts into these scenarios. the only drawback here is that animation is never considered as a tech scenario. Animation in itself is a tech field itself. It's a part of computer science. If I tell you very initially, like if you want to be a part of Disney, or if you want to be a part of Pixar, or DreamWorks for that matter, you have to be and you want to go into the core fields. They do not take people like who are maybe not at a PhD level maybe. So I have friends like who did their masters in computer science animations as animation as their majors from Columbia. Then they went out to do PhD in Columbia from in animation itself, learn the core and learn the basics of it. And then right now they're doing a very good job in maybe DreamWorks US or any other DreamWorks, maybe even in Europe or stuff. And they're creating immense brilliant work there. So if I think I've answered the correct, if I've answered it correctly, I think I didn't skip it. But eventually, if you think about in India, people need to be a part of creating original content. So whenever they're creating IP, whenever they are creating, if I would have talked about, let's say, around 10 years down the line, even I would not have been very much interested in creating IPs in India, because I personally, like, as for I was again very young at that time, the research level was pretty low, and the awareness was also low in terms of what we have today. But at that time it used to feel, यार ad में ये चीज हम देख रहे हैं, ये effect हमें पता है, ये इतना मिल जाता है, ये real flow से हो जाता है, ये इससे हो जाए, why are they not idly using them in particular ads, why are they not using them in your movies or stuff.
Hmm.
So right now there are many answers to it, and there are many hypotheses related to getting these solutions done. But it always maybe because कि बहुत ज़्यादा budget नहीं होता था उस time movies का, because उनको उतना output नहीं दिखता था कि उतना शायद कभी ROI नहीं आ पाएगा. So there are many ends to it. Hollywood में अगर वो maybe millions of dollars एक movie में लगा दे रहे हैं, they know कि they're going to get an ROI out of that movie as well. So India has made beautiful movies, and even in the last few years, if I talk about the first movie, one of our advisors were a part of it in '98 or '99, I think, Panchatantra jab bani thi. So he was a part of developing that film at that point of time, and उस time पे ही मतलब वो जिस तरह से बताते हैं कि रील होती थी बड़ी सी, and उसको घुमाते रहो, उसमें एक एक करके फ्रेम एनिमेट होके जाता था. I don't remember, and he's used Photoshop. I think जो first version आया था या जो भी था. So it has grown to an massive extent in India as well, and there is a lot of scope. But I think the response that movies get abroad is not equivalent to what movies and the effort that eventually get in India. The audience is not like very much receivable to pure animated content.
But that has
So
changed in the recent past. Like people used to think animation is just kids stuff, but that concept, that notion has been changing for the last few years.
yes, that is the reason. That is the reason a huge amount of money has started getting pumped into the industry itself. People have understood how eventually things are, what actually a good animated content is, and like majority of the companies have actually changed the scenario. But it's still, personally speaking, I think it's still a long way ahead for India in terms of just anime, in just a pure good content in terms of matching with Hollywood, though. But if you see, if I compare 10 years before and today, it's I think more than 20,000 times today better in terms of.
Um, my next question to you is uh, like when you were in college, like just remember those college days, and when you see today's students who approach you for jobs or interviews or whatever, do you see any change in mindset today as compared to like your generation?
आप मुझे बहुत बुरा फील करा रहे हो. I'm just 27
No, I mean
right.
like 10 years. See, आजकल तो एक generation 5-10 साल की हो गई है. तो
No, I 10 years down the line, I was in 2000. Today's 20, right? In 2010, I was in 11th. I passed out, like I cleared my college in 2016. So eventually, if I see in terms of difference, I see you get all kinds of students. let's say when you're hiring for maybe animations, if maybe you're hiring for digital marketing or other kind of content creation, if you're hiring for tech, maybe for coding and stuff, you see all kind of students everywhere. So उस टाइम पे भी यही scenarios होते थे कि there are people who would eventually would only want to work only for the money. There would be people who will only want to work कि बस कंटेंट ऐसा जाना चाहिए कि people are like लोग दंग रह जाएं कि हाँ ये काम ऐसा होके आया है. And then there are the ideal kind of people who work for both, who will always be with you for the long time, like who are definitely working for the money, they have to work for the money, that kind of takes care of their personal front in terms of family, in terms of their own personal needs and everything. And then when they are in work and when they are spending time for work, they're motivated for work as well, and they give you the best kind of the output. They are the people that you should always look forward for. So I think these kind of people and these variations will always be there. There will be people who will be with you in your ups and downs. There will be people who will eventually see, अच्छा company was funding के लिए चलो shift कर जाते हैं. There will always be people, always be students who will say कि नहीं sir कोई बात नहीं, इस बार खराब हुआ कोई बात नहीं, I'll just give it another shot. I'll make it better the next time. They will be like अरे कर तो दिया यार एक बार निपटा के छुट्टी करूँगा बस कितनी बार iteration करनी है. So it's always there. So I don't think it will eventually change even if I am, let's say, 40, if I'm 50, if I'm 60, or even the new kids like who might be currently 30, 14 or 15, 16 right now and might be figuring out कि हाँ हमें animation करना चाहिए या हमें film making करनी चाहिए. This variation is always going to be there.
So my next question is, what would be your advice to our students who want to join your industry as in your line?
Oh, the best advice would be to again stay motivated. The second advice would be to be just to thrive, to be the best in them. Whatever they have to find their prime focus. They want to do just maybe character animation. If I'm talking about animation, they might be want to do only and only let's say maybe at times just background score for that matter. They might want to do only animation part, not creating the assets uh, for the film that they're making or for the documentary or for the short film that they're making. They have to find their niche. They might in 3D they might just want to have texturing done. In might want to focus on modeling. They just have to find their niche once and then just excel at it. And excelling in this field, I feel, is having good mentors, which I think again Veda College definitely has, and finding the best, finding the sorry, doing the practice again and again. They as much as they'll practice, as much as they'll be there to know what are the current trends in the industry, there is nothing that can eventually pull them down. And with the growing trend in digital marketing, I feel there is a need of good content creators. Not only content creators, anybody eventually can be a content creator if they are willing to do it, but there is a massive shortage of good content creators.
Mm-hmm. What is the role of drawing or sketching if somebody is looking to become an animator?
It's again similar to what would be the role of creating cement if you want to if you want to make a building. So I don't know if the analogy if it is if I
So it is important. It is very important.
Really important. It is. You might not be good at it. It's okay. It's not like you have to excel at it. You just have to know the nitty gritties of it. You need to know the past to be better in the future, right? If you do not know about the past of your of what how your industry grew, if you do not know about the present how it is working out, you will never be able to make good decisions for the future. It is impossible to make if you do not have all the data points in hand. Similarly, if you do not know how the sketching is done, how the traditional animation was made, like जो flip book होती थी या कुछ भी, uh, the understanding the current softwares, the core of it is not it's not possible according to me. You might see a lot of tutorials online. You might just focus on कि हाँ ये 3ds max है ये ऐसे चलता है ये वाले features if I use this tool it's going to give me this solution. Yeah, if I'm using Blender I might do it like that way. It's good, but if you do not know the core of it, it's not going to work. To excel in it, okay. Just excel in it.
So my next question to you is that you must have seen a lot of portfolios and show reels students भेजते रहते होंगे आपको. So the things that you are looking for in a good show reel.
Genuineness. For me, like if I ever see a show reel, I think 80% of the show reels that we get are fake. Either they are copied
Fake.
work, either it is fake. Yes, either it is copied work, either it is eventually drafted to impress the HR recruiter or maybe whoever is recruiting at them. It's if I'll first tell you the thing that eventually turns us down is templates. It's like it's like a no-brainer. We just have to just like, okay, the moment we see a template, we just say no to it. We do not proceed with the client until unless he's explicitly mentioned that, yeah, I have used a few templates in my showing. Then it's okay. If the content is genuine and if there is a eagerness to learn, like Climax is always open to hire. Like we hire majority of the people. There have been people who did not know about anything about animations when they first joined us, but in the first let's say 6 months or 7 months, there have been people who were eventually taking care of the whole department as also, or running out the whole projects themselves. So if there's a thirst to learn, that's okay. If there is truthfulness in the resume that they've sent, if they tell us ki these are the efforts that they've made, this is the actual content that we have made, it's more than good to go. It's more than good to go. And like again off the question, sorry, but one advice would be that if some company is eventually rejecting the resume, there might also be a possibility that they're not looking for a exact specialty that the shoji shows us. It might have it might be nothing to do with the student. It might be
Quality of
nothing
work.
quality of the work. It might just be that we're not looking for. There is no position to fill in for that matter, right?
Exactly. So, Ishan, thank you so much for joining us. It was a very nice interaction with you, and we could sense that your experience from the last so many years uh, when you were speaking, and I'm sure that is going to help us, help our students and faculties and college as a whole to grow further.